Hey everyone, Dan at Ochco Bushcraft. Well, today we're out here doing something completely different. So hang in there and go up here and tell you what it is. Well guys, I am up here in the mountains riding a mountain bike. And this is the first time I've ever done this. But up here in the Ochco Mountains and pretty much all through Central Oregon, there are hundreds and hundreds of miles of old logging roads that are blocked off to motor vehicles. The road you just saw me riding on is completely blocked off at both ends. And so I thought it would just be a great way to get to see a lot of land, a lot of nature, and a lot of wildlife that you can no longer get into except for by walking. But then, you know, to travel 15 miles walking is going to take, pretty much carrying a pack and camera and things is going to take me, that's going to be my day, where on that bike, an hour, I'm there. I'm 15 miles out, you know. And so I had an old bike put away, actually belonged to my dad, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to throw that thing in the truck and I'm going to start riding those old roads. And then when I get out to a place like this that looks pretty cool, I'll just kind of take the bike off the side of the road and go on foot after that and explore the area and get into areas that I haven't been in since I was a kid, and in some cases areas that I've never seen before. Well, in preparation for doing this, I needed to put together a small, lightweight survival kit that I could carry on my back. You know, my bigger, heavier backpack, I didn't want to carry that much weight. So I started thinking along the lines of the 10 C's, popularized on YouTube by Dave Canterbury over the years, and then numerous others have done videos. So I put together this small kit that I'm wearing. You saw on the bike. We're going to do a loadout on it. Basically, it's based on the 10 C's with a few additions that I think are necessary for doing what I'm doing. But you know, for carrying in your vehicle, for being out here on a day hike, or doing what I'm doing, exploring new country on a mountain bike, I think it's an ideal little kit. So I want to share with you guys what I put together. Okay, first thing I did is I bought myself a sling pack. Now, I had owned a sling pack once before, but the brand I had was extremely uncomfortable. It did not have this adjustment strap. It just had the one strap going over, and so it would slide up and down and it would dig into my shoulder, and it was extremely uncomfortable. This particular bag that I'm wearing is from a company called Red Rock. I bought it on Amazon for, I'm gonna say, around 35 bucks. This is called the Rover. Again, the brand is Red Rock, and there's both a small and a large, and this is the small. You know, it's small, it's extremely comfortable. As I start loading out here, first thing I'll show you is right here on the strap, I have my MC2 compass, so that whether I'm riding, you know, maybe I've come across some trails and I want to go riding on them, I want to get a direction, make sure I'm on the right trail coming back, or what I'm doing now, I'm off the road and I'm actually going to walk up this valley and spend part of the day exploring this valley and then ride back out of here to the truck. So this compass becomes, you know, a lifeline really to get back, because the area I'm in now, I've been on this road once many years ago before it was blocked off, but where I'm about to walk, I've never been. It's going to be all brand new. So let's unload this and take a look at what I've got. Okay, so once again, this little sling pack is, the brand is Red Rock. Got it on Amazon. I think it was right about 35 bucks. Model is called the Rover, and it's the small. There's a larger, I wanted the small. I wanted to go as compact as I could. Extremely comfortable. I've been riding with this for a while now, and I didn't even notice it was on. And just to show you, I have this packed extremely light. And I don't know the exact weight, I didn't bother, but I can tell you it's not much. And The pack itself, you know, pockets on the back, attachment points on the outside, attachment points on the front, of which I have my compass using an old Alice clip attached to. And on the outside here, I have, so based on the 10 C's, right? Cutting tool, and we have, of course, compass was one of the C's, cutting tool. I have my SE PR4, just in the traditional sheath that it came in, because that was real easy, using some bank line to tie off to the side of the pack. And it's easy to get to on the outside. I also have, as you'll see, a folding Baco saw in here. And I wanted to show you guys now, there is a little secret compartment here, I guess, a little hidden compartment. People on Amazon talked about carrying a small firearm in here. I am not using it for anything myself at this point in time, but I wanted to let you know that it is there. And again, feels really good on the back. So let's load this out. Remember, we're kind of built on the 10 C's here, and because things are placed in different areas in the pack, they won't all come together. But you know, as we load it out, so candling device, as Dave calls it, Canterbury. I have both a small little O-light, and I have a brighter headlamp from Coast. This is the one, I think it's 450 lumens, 435, somewhere in there. But it also has red on it. This will work great if I ended up, for some reason, having to ride back after dark, putting this on and using it to get out of here. And the little light with a few extra batteries inside is an emergency backup. I'm going to set my gear back here kind of out of the way as we unload, so I'm not knocking things off the rock. So that's candling devices, compass, one of the cutting tools, the saws inside here. Also, along with cutting tools, is a small Leatherman rebar. And for whatever reason at that moment in time, I chose to go with the brown and black camo version. I guess it really didn't matter. It just caught my eye, and I thought, hey, this is a little different. But even with this black coating on it, I've tried it, and the back of the saw will throw sparks, as will the file. Here's the saw here. So even with that black coating, I actually took it and it threw sparks fantastic. So it's another striker for my ferro rod. And just put that back in here. And for combustion, fire starting, of course, you guys know me. I've also got them in my pocket as always. An extra one in here. The UCO windproof, waterproof matches. Full with extra strikers ready to go. I have a lighter shoved down in here, which naturally is going to be easy to get to. There we go. Just a Bic lighter and a nice 6-inch ferro rod with orange cordage attached to the back, so that when I set this down, it doesn't just disappear. The orange stands out and lets me know where it's at, which is important out here. And then I have some of those fire plugs. I have a little bag of fire plugs in here and some Gorilla Tape. And when we get in here, you'll see for container, I have stainless steel bottle and cup, but I also have from Hydro Blue, I believe it's called the Sidekick. I'm going to do a review on this sometime, but it's their little small pocket filter, and it's very cool because not only does it have the front filter, but or the regular carbon filter, it also has like charcoal, and it's extremely handy. So if I have to fill my bottle up straight from the stream or something, I can drink right out of my bottle. but it takes up almost no room and doesn't weigh, what, an ounce maybe? So this was just perfect to put in here. And then one final thing, and this is if I get stuck out overnight, because I don't have a lot of shelter in here, this gives me 16 hours of light, 16 hours of heat, wrap up in an emergency blanket. It's an Exotac 16-hour hot burn candle, and I just something I thought would be good. If I end up staying out here, having that little light burning and the heat coming off it will help. Top pocket. See, now Dave goes with the canvas needles, and this is where I add, in addition to the canvas needles, which are tucked away in a little baggie, I believe in having some first aid items. You know, I could take a spill on the bike. I've got some antibiotic ointment. I've got some different wipes to clean out any scratches or something, or cuts I might get on my hands. I've got a pack of stingies in here. There's a few band-aids. Some ibuprofen if my legs and back get to hurting. And just because, you know, a few items that could come in handy. Wet wipes, insect repellent. I'm going to be out here for the day and the horse flies are starting to get bad. And sunblock. And just in case, that video I did a while back on that little survival kit made in China. You remember how loud that whistle was in that video? I took that whistle and stuck it in here. People are going to probably hear me clear back in town on this thing. So in addition to the canvas needles, which Dave considers to be part of a medical, you know, a bandana, and then those needles, I believe you really need a first aid kit. I mean, like I said, especially out here on that bike, if I take a spill and I get gravel in my hands, I want to be able to clean the wounds out, bandage them up, put some antibiotic ointment on them, and take care of myself. Okay, we'll load out the main section. Pair of leather gloves. I'm going to be out here, like I said, on a hike. I'm going to be building a fire. I'm going to be working with wood. I don't want slivers or my hands covered with pitch on the ride back and getting it all over the bicycle handlebars. So gloves, important. Take up little room, sit right on top. Something that isn't part of a 10Cs kit, but you know, I'm out here for the day and I need energy. I'm going to need some energy to ride that bike back, otherwise it's going to be miserable. I've got just a few snacks. Got me a protein bar and some trail mix. This will probably be my late breakfast / early lunch. And then if I get hungry on the way, I've got one of my mini Mayday meals. Because I mentioned earlier, my other cutting tool besides the multi-tool and the saw, I have a Baco in here. And what does that take us to? See, we mentioned container. Right here on this side, I have my water and my cup. It's nesting down inside the cup. And I'm probably going to forget some of these C's, and I apologize if I do. I'm trying to go through them in my head. Cotton bandana was one, and of course I have one in my pocket, but I have an extra one shoved down in here. And cover. Cover is a big thing. So for cover, I've got something that I can sleep on. I've got a 55-gallon drum liner folded up. I can, if the ground's wet but it's warm, I'll just set it out. If it's been cold, I've got pine needles all around me, and I'll fill this thing up and make a cushion as big as I need, something to sit on or something to lay on. I have, so that's something to be on. Here's something to be under. SOL emergency heat sheet. I don't like the Marlite blankets. I did a video comparing the two. These, when you get a puncture hole in a Mylar, it just falls apart. This won't. This will stay together. I can wrap up in this. And I mentioned that little candle earlier. I can wrap this all around me, put that little candle down in front of me inside here, and it's going to help warm me up. And finally, something to sleep under, and this is brand new to me. I'm actually testing this out today, so I will do a video on this. I have not used it yet, but I'm going to use it today. Bushcraft Outfitters now has a small 5-foot by 8-foot tarp, emergency survival tarp, MEST. And I don't remember what the M is for right off the top of my head, but EST, emergency survival tarp. I call it a personal survival tarp. This thing weighs practically nothing. It's very strong though, and part of the reason I chose it for the size, 5 by 8. It's bigger than the big emergency blanket. It's much stronger material than the big emergency blanket. It has tie-outs all the way around, multiple tie-outs. So I can put this in a variety of configurations, and being that it's a little bigger, 5 by 8 rather than 5 by 7, I have more cover. It's camouflaged, which is something I like, but it's also fire retardant. Bushcraft Outfitters has made these tarps, they're 7 by 9s and 10 by 10s and so on, in the multicam, fire retardant. So, you know what? It's rip resistance, it's tear resistance, it's total protection from water. It's loaded with tie-outs all the way around, and it's fire retardant. I would not be afraid to build a small fire under this. You know, get it up over my head, have a small fire in one end, and wrap the emergency blanket around me, sit on the garbage bag full of pine needles, and wait out the night if that's what happened. And to secure it, I've just got some small tent stakes shoved down in a little leather pouch. These are just coglins, but they work great. I haven't bent one yet, and I have used these many times. Also, I have a 25-foot ridgeline. Now I don't need one near that long for this little tarp, but it gives me extra cordage if I need it, a parachute cord. And I have, for the rest of my cordage, a roll of bank line. And I believe that covers everything, guys. Now, as I said, I tried to build this on the 10Cs. I don't have them written out in front of me, and that would help if I did. But I think with cover and containers and cordage and cutting tools and combustibles and the canvas needles, the cotton bandana, the candling device, I know I just forgot to, but you guys know what they are, and probably if I didn't come across them in this kit, well, and I guess they got left out. But anyway, this is my little, survival kit that I put together. It's super lightweight, super comfortable. I guess we'll see over time how this little Red Rock bag lasts. That's my only concern, because, the price of the bag makes me question its durability. But I've taken it on a couple hikes already to kind of pre-test it, and I've been riding with it for a while on the bike to get to this location, and I can at least say it's very comfortable. And in the little bit of use that I have given it, there's no loose threads or anything else. So over time, we'll see if it holds up, but I like it. So anyway, Dan at Ochiko Bushcraft with a new way for me to explore the backcountry and get farther back into areas that I haven't seen before. The little kit I put together to do it with, and I hope it gives you some ideas to maybe do the same thing and get farther out. Right now, maybe that's what we need, is to get farther out. Thanks, guys. Take care.